بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. This is the third part of the revision, Module 4, First Year Secondary English Traveller 1. Now in this module, you're supposed to be able to make promises, on-spot decisions and requests. You also need to use abbreviations, use to and enough. You define people, places, things using relative pronouns and adverbs. You also will be able, inshallah, to write a paragraph expressing your opinion. Now, we also use here, again, we're going to use tables and organizers to analyze some of the rules in your book. This is just the page that we're going to go through these rules in your revision. As you can see here, you have, for example, the title of the rule, the number of the module and the lesson. Also, you can find the rule in that page, which is in front of you. I just put them here for you. You can take a paragraph, you can put your own analysis for the rule. You can put like a table organizer. This is to make sure that you know exactly what you're supposed to take in that module. As you can see here, you don't have abbreviation because it's a very long list. It's in your book, page 79. You can go there and study all the abbreviation. If someone asks you to write and use abbreviation in your writing, you will know exactly what stands for each abbreviation. It will be more easier for you than to just put them in front of you here. Now, starting with the future, as you can see from our organizer, you usually have affirmative sentences. You have questions and negative. I'm just going to place them there in front of you. Using will is very easy. All you have to do is put the pronoun in will, which stands for the future, and the verb in the infinitive. No change in any kind of verb. It's very easy. When you ask a question, you just switch. You have to be careful with the pronoun, like I will be you. And then when you want to make a negative, you will say not after will, or you can make the abbreviation using won't. Very easy. It's very clear. As you can see, you can take a paragraph if you want before we move on. Now, sometimes you use the future for many, you have different usage, like I want to make a promise, or I want to make a on-the-spot decision, or I'm requesting something, or sometimes you're predicting the future. Now, you have to, if someone asks you to, for example, match the meaning to the future, as you can see now, all of them are future tense, but they have different meaning. For example, I will help you. Here, you are making on-the-spot decision. Number two, I will pay you back. It's a promise. I will pay you back. You're giving that person a promise. Will you lend me some money? It's a request. You're asking someone, and I think he will be a great teacher one day. This is something you think will happen in the future, so it's a prediction. So sometimes it means for like different meaning, but you will also use the future. Now, talking about the future here, I want to show you now the time clause and how the order of the sentence is put. I want you to see it now. Now, when you have time clauses, you have time expressions like when, after, before, until, as soon as. You have the present simple, you have comma, and you have the future, which is the main clause. In some of the sentences, you will have them switched. Like you start with the main clause and then, so be careful. If you find one of these time clauses, you have the expressions, time expressions, be careful that you have two tenses. So you don't follow the first tense, like, okay, this is the present, so I'm going to use the present in the second section of the sentence. So be careful, okay? We will have more exercise, but here I want you to see that we can have the future tense with the present since it's two clauses. Now with the adjectives and adverbs, now you have, as you can see here, set of adverbs and adjectives. Here you have easy and easily, bad and badly, dangerous and dangerously. How would you differentiate between them? Because sometimes you have them, like you can see here, in two sentences. He drives and he is. So how would you choose? Now, usually adjectives, they define nouns. I'm describing, like, for example, someone or something. Like, this cake is delicious, or that person is nice. Or, but when it's an adverb, and let that word help you, it's an adverb. So you're adding meaning to the verb. You're describing how something happens. Like, he drives, for example, quickly or dangerously, and so on. So this is how you choose them. Easy is an adjective. Easily is an adverb. Here, if I say he drives, so I'm talking about his driving. So he drives badly. This is how he drives. He is dangerous, if that person is dangerous. Okay? To and enough. I put them into parts. We use to before adjectives and adverbs. For example, here you have too big before adjectives, too early before adverb. And sometimes you have different, of course, different time. But when I say it's too big, too early, too far, usually it's a negative meaning. It means more than necessary, more than I need. So it's too big for me, I can't wear it. It's too early, the time is not good for me. Or it's too far, it's very far away, I can't make it. When we use enough, it's sometimes after adjectives and adverbs, and sometimes you can see them before nouns. Okay, but it has positive meaning. Yes, you say, for example, enough food. This is the noun, so it comes before the noun. But when it comes to adverbs, adjectives, they come after. Warm enough. Okay. Now, relative pronouns. What is a relative pronoun? We talked about that in the lesson itself. It's a word that you introduce a relative clause with, and you connect to independent clauses. Here you have a table. You can take a photograph of this table. Just I try to analyze each like pronoun with what, for example, what does it stand for from your book, of course. If you talk about people, you say who. If you talk about things or animals or ideas, you use which. And both of them you can use that instead of. And the last one, the adverb of place, which is where. You can put where if you're describing or you're referring to a place. Now, the man who is driving that car is my uncle. The bag, which is on the table, is mine. The documentary that I watched last night was terrible. The place where I live is beautiful. So these are the pronouns. You can take a photograph if you want. You will be asked to choose between who, which, or where. So be careful with the reference. Where do they, for example, do these pronouns refer to a person, a thing, or a place? Now, a lot of adjectives are formed by adding a suffix full or less. From that, when I say full and less, you can see the negative and the positive. I say useful, for example. Useful has a positive meaning. It's very useful. I use it a lot. I can use it with many things. But when I say useless, that is a useless, for example, let's say equipment, it means it has a negative meaning. It means that I don't use it. It's not used. I don't have enough, for example, I don't have that quality of usage in that thing or that equipment. Now, expression with make, you have many expressions with make. You will be like amazed. How can I use make with all these sentences? And you will see them in the, inshallah, in the activity. So you feel like, okay, are we repeating make? No, we're not repeating make. You have to see it as an expression, one expression, like make mistakes, or make a decision, or make plans, or make sure, or make money, or make prediction, make a phone call. From that word, make mistakes, you must miscalculate. You have a mistake here. Make a decision, you decide, and let that word help you. Plans, you make plans. It means you plan, or you think ahead, or you arrange. Make sure that something is definitely so, you confirm, you're sure about that. You make money, you profit or you gain. You make prediction, you predict and you guess. Make a phone call, this is easy, of course. You call or you phone someone or you ring up. I'm going to leave this for just a second. It's just as a reminder for you if you want to keep it. Now, in this section of the book, the module 4, you have to write a paragraph, or you're supposed to write a paragraph expressing your opinion. I find this very useful and very important, since this is like the end of the term. So when you want to express yourself, how you feel about something, or your opinion about something, you need to have different points when you talk about that. Now, so here you have a positive opinion about mobile phones. You're going to list some of the positive aspects of using mobile. This is what's written in your book. They may ask you to write about a phone, or anything in the world, for example. They will ask for your opinion. So if someone asks you to, for example, write a paragraph about your own opinion, you need to list all the qualities in that thing. If you want to talk about two sides, like negative and positive, it's up to you. If it's only positive, just list the positive aspect in your draft before writing, so it's easier for you to write all the information. For example, when it comes to the phone, you're going to write about like a sentence about the size, the cost, what they're used for, and this you will have like 4, 5, 6 sentences. If people can become addicted, you can add more information. You can put medical information about that. If it can be annoying, the last two can be the negative part of the using a phone. It's up to you, of course, but this is just like for example, a list that you can use. What's important in this paragraph, you have to finish with that. You have to show me how you feel, your personal opinion. You can say personally, and after you list all that, you can say what you think about that thing. In my opinion, you can use that, or I believe. I just put them there for you so you can write them down. When you start your sentence with these expressions, it means now it's your opinion. It's not a fact. It's not something that you know, like about the phones or people. Are you, for example, use that phone for? No, it's something that you feel or you believe, or your personal opinion. Now, this is just also like to help you how to organize your paragraph. You can say, first of all, to begin with, first of all, this is like something that you start your sentences giving us, you know, what you think of, or what phones are used for, and so on, or the cost. Secondly, what is more? Also, this is in addition to add. And lastly and finally, here you can present your own opinion by saying personally, lastly, in my opinion, or finally, I believe, and you can put your own opinion. I'm going just to leave it just a second, and then we're going to move on. Now, starting with the activities, I tried to put most of the activities, but again, you can go to your book. You have many activities in the roundup, in the workbook, the same exercises in your lesson itself. It will help you a lot. You can pause and go back to the exercise and just, you know, refresh what you learned from us here. Now, here you're asked to put to enough in the words. Remember, when they come before adjectives or after adverbs and adjectives, and before noun or after, you know, do you remember that? I'm going to leave this for a second, and I want you to pause it before you see the answer. It's easier for you to see how much you got from that information. Okay, let's show the line. Look at the words here. Okay, I won't buy the coffee maker. You won't buy it. Why do you think so? Yes, it's too expensive. Now it's a negative thing. Here, I don't have, also, you don't have enough money. Jack is to go out tonight. Too tired. We can't go to the shopping center on foot. We can't. Why? It's not close enough. And this is very important because you have it's not. If you don't have it's not, you can say it's too far. If you're using far, of course, here. But because it's negative here, means that it's not close enough. Of course, I won't lend Sam my car. He's not careful enough. I don't like this painting. You don't like it. What's wrong with the painting? It's too colorful. So most of the words here, you're thinking, okay, is it too or enough? Is it negative or positive? And read the sentence before you choose or before you write that down. If you want, I will leave this just a second and then moving on. Now this is the activity about the future, and be careful when you have two clauses. You will have clauses like time expressions as soon as. You have before and after. If it's just a future tense, you will see. I'm going to leave this for a second, and we're going to answer now. For example, okay, starting now. Number 1, as soon as I get home, what will happen? I will call you. I will fix the washing machine. Okay, this is the future. Before I leave, yes. You back. I promise. What will you do? I will pay you back. You use the printer today. It's out of order. What will happen if it's out of order? You won't be able, yes. Okay, you the money. I will lend you the money. If you want to see the answers before we move on. Now here, you're supposed to choose between who, which, or where. I'm going to leave this for a second. Be careful if it's a thing, if it's a person, or if it's a place. Okay, starting. Number 1, is this the digital photo? So it's a photograph or a frame. Yes, which, I can use that. Okay, cafe. Number 2, it's a cafe. Yes, where? Is this the hover? It doesn't work. Definitely it's not a person, so which? That's the waiter. Gave me the wrong change. Someone who works in the restaurant. Oh, okay. Now also, which and who and that. Just for a second. You can pause, answer, and you will see the answers now. Okay, there are 2 lifts in this building. Elevators. Yes, which? My cousin is a person. Now this is like very clear. Oh, Old Trafford Stadium. Manchester United play there. So, where? Do you remember the man? It's a man, so who? I will leave this for a second. You have the same exercise in your book, just an activity. Now, complete the sentences with the correct form. Here, it's put there, like mistake. It's put there, you can see it. You like money and plans, but they want you to think about the present. Is it make or made or makes? Okay, so this is what they want you to do. If this is the exercise in your book, if it's up to me, I would put the same expression. You have to make. You have to write the same expression, like make mistake or make plans. I won't just ask you for the tense only or the correct form. So I think you have. So what is the tense here? Made, yes. Okay, he didn't make. Have you made any plans? You can look at this for a second. Okay, moving on. Where's your phone? I need to right now. Who's usually the decisions in the company? Please. Sure. You can pause, of course, and then I will show you the answer. Okay, number 4. Make a phone call. Okay, 5. Makes, usually, present. And please make sure. Okay. Moving on. Now let's go to the vocabulary. I always take time in the vocabulary because I think that no matter what exercises or activities I will show you, it won't help you unless you have different skills. When it comes to vocabulary, I need you to, of course, like study the meaning, and you have to know the meaning, but you have to understand how is it used in the content. You have to read the sentence because it's a very thin line. And here, usually you have 4 words, but here there are only 2 because both meanings can be used in the same sentence with different, of course, contents. But I mean, it's very close when you borrow money and you lend money, or you have like cash or coins, okay? So you have some of these words are very close, so that's why it's put there. It's in your book, so that's why I put it here. Usually you will have 4 words to choose from. I'm going to leave you this for a second, and I want you to answer. I'm going to read one by one, give you like the clues here. So here you have me. Someone is doing this, you know, and it's 100 riyals. You haven't given it back. So usually, and Srana, me. What did she do? Number 2, you go to the supermarket. You only have few. And here you have countable nouns. He looks, his look and the outfit. People dress up in like a manner. Okay, number 4, this gadget, kind of machine, doesn't work. What do you think? You need what? They're dead. What is dead in that machine? In number 5, I am getting really tired being alone. So what is the correct preposition here? Okay, let's answer. I'm trying to, make it as easy as possible. Now the answer. Since number 1, it's money. What did Rana do? She lent me. She gave me that money, and I haven't given it back. Number 2, when I got to the supermarket, what did you realize? You have few coins. 1, 2, 3. He looks, what do you think? The outfit, ridiculous. Yes, this is the way he dresses is hilarious. Okay, this gadget, usually you have machines like phones. They don't have batteries. The batteries are dead. This is what you say when it comes to batteries. My battery is dead. It means it's at 0 charge. I'm getting very tired. Even when you say it, tired of being alone. I'm going just to leave this for a second. We're going to move on. Okay, the second part here, you also have meaning, like the gadget is what exactly, when you ask someone to buy it, what do you say? How do you describe that machine? Number 2, what is going to change the world? Number 3, usually when you have, oh no, I think what did you do to the file? You can't find it anywhere. And number 9, very important habit that we see in our homes. My brother spends all his free time playing computer games. What do you call that person? I'm going to leave this just for a second for you, and then we're going to answer. Now, why do I read this for you? It's very important to find the content. Like, what is going to make me choose A or B? Usually it's more than 2. It's easier now because it's 2. Usually you have 3 or 4. But this is the same exercise in your book, so I didn't have to change. I didn't want to change anything for you. Okay, let's answer number 1. This gadget is very handy. It's very useful. You should buy it. Number 2, or 7 in this case, the invention will change the world. Okay, what have you done here? I have deleted, yes. It's an important file. I deleted it accidentally. And my brother, he's very addicted. Now, I'm going to repeat this again for you. I hope that you benefit from our revision, inshallah. This is just like a very short revision. We try to analyze summarize most of the information. Some of the information, as I said before, it's about communication or it's about listening. We did not go through that. Doesn't mean it's not important, but it's not something we can use here because you're not with me. You cannot help me give the answers because it's a listening or communication. So I need two persons or two people with me or more. So go back to your book. We put the tables for you for a reason, so you can follow. You can go back to the book. I write like vocabulary and grammar and lesson A and B and C, so it's easier for you to pause and go back to the book. Do not neglect your book. Your book is the source for your study. This is just very summarizing like information for you. I hope that you can benefit. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.